Actually, no, I put all 3 of them in my bag of holding, so
You
they
put all
wouldn't hear
3 in
me.
the bag?
Yeah.
Alright.
And I put them in the bag of holding, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about disabling them or anything.
Nice. So, we return as with Nari scarily behind the wheel of your guys' skiff, you guys are making your way into the Fade. Now, for most of the party, this is not necessarily normal by any means, but you recognize the dark sky, gray clouds, and just strange environment. But to describe it, both to Jack, who will likely watch this, and to someone who hasn't been there before,
Very interesting.
as Gorsh and Shayla, who have not yet been in the fold, sitting on the deck, you guys pass into this legitimate, like, gray mist. It almost seems like a wall of gray-black mist. As the skiff passes through, and to note, the skiff is being held by one iron wrought beam that seems to go into the ground that can very silently guide the way of the boat, of the skiff. And as you pass through it, you begin to hear a mild rainfall. It's not storming crazily, but it definitely is raining. You look above, and the sun that was gleaming pretty bright with the morning dew is completely blacked out. There is nothing but black and gray skies set above, with the effervescent sound of thunder and lightning every once in a while in the distance. Looking out over the side of the skiff, you see a black, barren ground. Almost like the soil has turned to this gray sand that very little can grow from. Every once in a while you see small sprouts of uprooted trees on their side, or a tumbleweed going by, but there is no green to be seen. As things continue, it's very dark. Does Gorsh have any form of dark vision?
He has 60 feet, yeah.
60 feet. So, scouring out, it's dark, like really dark. Heavy fog cloud advisory dark, and you're able to see that 60 feet, but it is just a black sheet past that. Every once in a while, you see these creatures that, just like many of the creatures in Dan that you know, are like strange mutations of what you would generally see, like a sheep with 8 legs, or a rabbit with a set of arms coming from its side, and ears that flop all the way past its tail. But
A chicken with an 8-inch dick.
a chicken with an 8-inch dick, things like that.
Save that for later.
Save that for later, exactly. Grab that as a dildo. It literally dies if it gets hard because the blood flow. Yes. But
And also, you said chicken. It's a female. That's even scarier.
Right. Yeah, it's a cock with an 8-inch cock.
Hell yeah. We're terrifying.
But the ones here in the Fade are, there is no color to their fur or skin. It is just gray, almost ashy looking, and it's just kind of sad. There's no sense of nature. There is just the storm. And you almost feel a little tired just with this constant rainfall and white noise around you. And to detail the skiff, it is very similar to the one that you guys drove previously. There is a underdeck area and then a small storage compartment below that people can walk around in if they're hunched. There's plenty of hammocks. There are 2 cabins that have double bunks.
Pretty nice size skiff.
It's an alright sized skiff. This is its approximate total length. I don't necessarily know if we're
In
gonna
scale?
use this. Yeah, get a scale. So probably, 50, 60 feet long. In that, the mast rises high and everything is quiet. A denotion to Gorsh, Shayla, and Atan, they were all kind of given the rundown of remaining quiet.
Got it.
are a lot of things in the Fade that like to eat human flesh, and they don't get a lot of it. So remaining quiet is the best way to do it. The party's encountered them before, and they can tell you their own tale of how that went. It didn't go terribly.
It's like playing Hungry Hungry 4. They just
Gorge
walk
jumps
around
off
and
the
want
side.
some meat.
So, as we enter the fold, it is just past mid-morning. Is there anything you guys would like to do over this time?
Just work on transcribing Dawn,
Dawn? Okay.
which takes, is it an hour per level?
Yes.
Dawn is a 5th level,
Yeah.
so 5 hours. Do I have? Let me know however much time I've done with that.
I'm assuming Dog is kept below deck.
Yes.
How many hours would I have? Because
His memory ass would want to go and eat everything.
Up to this point, with the travel time on the card, if you spent some time on your way there, you would have been able to finish it. Yeah.
Before we had entered, I know I'm reversing a little bit, but anyways, before we had entered right into the fall, I know we just got into it, but beforehand, would Warden have been able to make a few of those modifications that he made on the other one, reinforcing as well as,
If you were willing to spend multiple hours, yes.
I was gonna spend my fabricate.
Well, your fabricate only does a certain area.
Do,
And this is a 60-foot long boat.
we could do like 30 feet now.
Yeah, it's
You're dumb
very
as shit. I told you.
Yeah, but it'll be gone in 30 minutes.
It's pouring like a motherfucker.
Or, I have. My
Let
helmet's
me
fine.
pull up my fabricate photo.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got like a certain size, or you can just like make a bridge or stuff similar.
SpongeBob.
My
I-
sister had a SpongeBob themed bachelorette party.
And so you all got tattoos?
We got the little SpongeBob flower.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Love it.
That's so random.
Oh, where did you get
A
that?
SpongeBob themed
Sunday.
bachelorette.
I healed quick.
It's not healed all the way. It's itchy
No,
as
it
fuck.
just looks like the
Oh,
lines.
hello. Hello, beach.
I'd recommend using Aquifer on it if you haven't gotten a tattoo before.
I use just regular Zip Motion.
That works well too.
he's got multiple
Luckily,
tattoos.
ones that are just like thin lines and not just straight things heal really well. You don't have to deal with the popping ink levels.
I had second skin on it and found out very quickly that I'm allergic to second skin, so I had to take it off very prematurely. And so I was a little bit worried because you know how it gets that little bit of a flake of over the top?
Yep.
That came off like within like a couple hours because I had to immediately remove the second skin. And so I was a little bit worried about it because on
Yes.
the other one that waited
So
until
one,
like 4 or 5 to
specifically
kind of flake off
the
when I was
hatch.
you got a tattoo on it.
Yeah, that was a
Oh.
problem the first
Oh,
time
yeah.
we came.
Okay.
And
Because
so
it was ripped open.
on the last one it waited. This one it was like
So one, the hatch,
Yeah,
and
hatch. Bears.
yes.
I hope it works
And
over there.
two,
Looks like it's healed very well.
it seems to be doing okay. So
from my knowledge of Zareth driving and things like that, and seeing how things operates, can I run analysis on how on improving guidance / driving systems, basically making it easier for her to making it more.
You could spend
simple.
your day on that. That's not a hour-long goal.
Okay. Well, I'll say the first thing before we enter the vault is I use fabricate to over reinforce the hatch.
Okay.
But then I'll spend the rest of the day analyzing the ship control systems as well as the drive systems on how to make it. I'm just trying to give her ease of use in
Okay.
case she has any struggles,
Okay.
aka bonuses on rolls. Okay.
She's not having to roll for this unless
Say
you guys
no.
get in combat.
Okay, well, I'll just spend the day analyzing it either way.
Any of the extra time I'd have, I'd just work on then transcribing Bigby's hand.
Bigby's hand. Okay. You'll be able to get that on that end of the day.
Take my Bigby's hand.
You are reading
Well,
a book.
if it's a long period of time, I could start ritual casting plant growth.
I'm already done with my book.
I can. You're already
He
done.
did finish at the very end of that section.
Okay.
I was reading
Trey,
12
I
hours
can
a
already
day.
tell you a plant growth in the fold will borderline do nothing.
Okay. I was wanting to figure that out.
Oh my gosh, can we visit Larry?
You guys could.
Nari
you guys
wants
would
to
be-
visit Larry.
You guys would be going quite out of your ways to do so.
How long would it, like, how long?
We can hit up Larry on the way back.
Just get
So-
this man's travel via plant so he can walk inside of Gary.
Yeah, and then we just emerge as
So
a
you guys
bird
entered
freely.
about here. Your goal is in between these mountains, right?
Larry was like.
Larry is over here.
Because last time we went this way.
Yeah, you guys went up and then went through this crease right here to lead up into the Overkeep Mountains. But you guys also went all the fuck around.
Yeah.
Because you guys were mapping the place.
Nari kind of wants to not tell anyone and just go to Larry. How long would it take us to get to Larry?
It would be a 3 days travel from here. It's about a day and a half to the.
Given my cardinal direction.
Damn.
Hold on. Go ahead. Roll to see if you can steer that way, and then we'll see what happens.
See if you can take us that way without anyone realizing where we're going.
Gordon's gonna realize very quick. He is the
Well,
exact,
I don't know what that was yet.
exact cardinal direction.
She
I don't have the exact
denies her very fierce longing to see Larry.
Oh, good.
I think the first one I would have seen Larry, damn it, but I heard this. I don't know what it was.
Good job.
Gordon's
Yeah.
Yes.
So, choosing to not go and see your suicidal tree friend
That has become canon.
that is canon in this campaign.
And every campaign now.
And every campaign for future. Probably in a future
Shayla
campaign.
wants to meet Larry.
On the way back.
Y'all can meet Larry on the way back through.
That's if we survive.
We'll stop at Group Brew.
I just don't want to
as well.
spend half
Maybe
the
a
session
franchise.
trying to talk to Larry again.
Nothing.
The franchise into the fold.
I feel like if anything pissed off Zach more was the fact that we wasted like an hour and a half trying to talk to Larry.
It was more like 40 to 50 minutes.
It was
but
still like an hour.
It was still way too much time. I was just sitting here like, guys, we're just talking to a fucking tree.
An ancient tree.
Yeah, it's a 15,000-year-old tree that's like the king tree of the grove, but like
King of the Grove. That's his name now.
Larry, what was it? Dark
Dark Oak.
Larry Dark Oak, king of the grove.
I'll show you my dark oak.
Whoa, calm down.
My brother in Christ, you're white.
You're white.
Show him your virtual.
I'm not saying where it's coming from.
Get erased.
Polymorph.
Dropping
That's
Lincoln logs out my asshole.
What the fuck?
Hold up, what the fuck?
I've seen your poops. That's not what they look.
I was gonna say, neither can you fit anything up there, brother.
I have a condition.
I have a condition. Okay.
Son,
So-
you have a condition. Tell me what that's from.
As the day continues, is there anything you guys would like to do? Are there any conversations you would like to have with each other?
I would like to tell Shayla all about my friend Larry Darko.
Okay. Shayla will pull up a seat beside the driver's road, and she seems very interested in this pretty much long dead tree. How big is Larry?
Well, he was pretty skinny last time I saw him, but, well, I don't remember how big Larry looked. He was king of the oak, but
Larry was like, not quite like a redwood size tree, but
but
like,
he was a big tree, but he was like rotted, wasn't he?
he was rotted through, but he was still probably like 40, 50 feet tall
well,
at his highest.
Well, you see, our friend Larry, he, what a tree he was in his prime, I'm sure. I didn't get to see him because he's like, 15,000 years old or
Yes.
something, I mean, he was pretty big boy, 40, 50 feet tall, but he was all rotted through. And when we tried to talk to him, he basically was just like,
You bitch.
ah! And, it was a lot of was screaming, and it was very it was
He just
a
wanted
whole
to
thing. Poor thing just wanted to die. We couldn't do anything about it. So when we restore the fold, he'll either die or he'll become real king once again.
That is fascinating. Mike, why didn't you tell me about this tree?
Well, I was getting to it.
Getting to it.
Yeah.
You know how much I like my trees.
Yeah.
You're a tree hugger?
Yeah.
I could walk through trees.
She's a
depending on-
druid.
I think Larry might find that confusing.
Or
Awkward.
pleasure,
Probably
maybe.
violating.
I don't know.
He's kind of
You might
running
just be-
through. I don't know.
It might just be edging him because he thinks he's finally dying.
Yikes.
Bro, edging a fucking tree is crazy. Just
Make sure you wear protection.
you love rubbing these roots.
Yikes. Anyways. Yes.
Well, that's very fascinating.
He was-
Where exactly are we going again? I know we're going towards the mountains, and that's where your friends?
Temporary
Colleagues?
acquaintances, I would say.
I just
There's-
wave my arm over at one of his daddy,
Your
my
daddy?
patron,
Warden.
and some other
Warden,
random folks.
Oh, your patron.
Warden,
There's
who's
no
been,
minors, which is what's most
complicated.
important. There's no
Warden, who's
minors.
been walking around the ship with like some of his dial and measuring tools that he's been kind of holding up, taking in all of the ship. Turns around and says, "We're about to meet some very old people."
When you've said very old, you've told me a little bit. Some are 14,000 years, correctly?
That is my age. These are immortal beings that have been
Oh,
took part in my creation.
lovely.
And more specifically, the one that I'm rushing us to seek is my creator.
Your creator. And what is his name?
Dr. What's his first name?
Harry.
Harry?
I believe his first name was Harry.
He's got a hairy Faberman.
Harry?
Wait, really?
Yes.
Like the fuck?
I believe his first name was Harry. Let me just double check.
He's got to have some sort of middle initial or something.
Stopped raining, but man, or
There's gonna be more for the next, 4 days.
I'm definitely.
Yeah, it's supposed to be raining the rest of the week. I was trying to cut up all of our crates before it.
Yes, it was Harry K. Bopperman.
Okay, his name is Dr. Harry K. Bobberman.
14,000 years ago, and his name was Harry.
Well, he is a
I
scientist.
think it's short for Harinold.
Harinold.
Yeah.
Harinold?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a fucking Harinold?
No,
I've heard of a herald,
that would be almost as bad.
Harinold.
but
is
typically
that
those are
right?
in general.
Harinold? Are you on crack right now?
No, but these brownies.
Give me one.
I'm pulling out.
She's gonna take it and she's gonna start nibbling on it.
They're quite good.
I'm sure they are. I'm ready to not remember the rest of this trip. This is what
You must remember Larry.
No. Once we get to Larry, I'll be fine. But the trip to the mountains, this is so dull.
Boring, I know.
It's so boring.
Do you want to drive?
Fuck no.
That's kind of rude.
Well,
I'm sure driving high would be fun.
I'm sure driving high would not be fun for the rest of you.
They'll live. I'll
And
let
aren't we
myself.
renting this? Do we have some kind of insurance or something?
I can repair any damages.
Yeah, Warden has got it under control.
I did last time.
What even is insurance? I've heard people use that word many times.
You know
Oh, I know a lot about
Oh, sweet Jesus, not this again.
Nari's gonna go into detail explaining how
Mihail's
insurance works.
excuse
And,
himself to a different portion of the ship.
3-hour time skip. She finished explaining insurance.
It is about a 2.5-hour long time
Gorge finds alcohol.
Gorge immediately finds alcohol.
We do have an alchemy job.
Yes, we do.
do not find alcohol
It's
in the
currently
natural
filled
wine.
with potent poisons.
Hey, I might drink that.
Empty
If
the
someone tries to give me a
containers
2.5 hour
Order
talk
some
about it.
brews so that you don't drink too much.
I'm gonna bring out like a little notepad of the notes that I had taken
Yeah.
during that talk.
So,
like,
just
Oh, I remember.
No, you don't. You were the one.
That was the first session I was there.
was it?
Yes.
Was it
Oh.
you and me, or was it me and Atan?
It was you
and
were
Tom.
talking to Tom.
Okay.
It was
So
you,
it was
Todd,
like-
and Jack started
I
talking
think it
about
was-
insurance.
Well, it was
First or second
specifically
night.
the fucking gnome that decided to try to ask the questions. And then left.
Yeah, and I
in
just
the
kinda
midst
left.
Of the answer.
And then bro left.
Because I didn't care. You should have left too.
Oh my gosh, Nari just had an idea. She wants to become an insurance broker when she gets back into the nearest town. That's
Let's
what
go.
she's gonna do.
Rebellion? Nah. I'm gonna make my own insurance agency.
Yes, that is exactly insurance.
I don't
for-
think that this island is a great place for an insurance broker right now.
No, not
No,
the
what you
island.
should do is
Well,
make
like,
an insurance
that's-
for in case of emergency evacuations insurance to insure your business in case of an emergency move.
Oh my god.
You make so much money.
You would lose so much money.
Yeah, because you'd have to pay it out.
No,
The
you-
point
no,
of
you-
insurance
no,
is to trick
but
people
no,
into getting
no,
it
no,
when it's
but
not going
they
to
have
be
to
needed.
give they have to give down payments
Yes.
and other things like that and pay it out over the next course of the next 5 months. I mean, like, think about it. But it's gonna be like
Now
really,
they don't have to fund the evacuation. Everyone funds their own evacuation.
right? Think of it. She's gonna sell this. Think of it as a safety deposit for if you for some reason needed to evacuate very rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just have one room that just has like 50 million gold pieces in it for people to draw from the entire coast.
Bricks of platinum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Straight up, like, here is your 10 million brick of
And I
platinum.
will use it to. I will use my funds to build more boats so that when evacuation time comes.
A platinum hold.
Build a wall to keep
So
the
it's-
slaves out.
Nice.
Purchase
It's
pleasure bars to go across the narrow
shiny.
sea. Yeah.
The shiniest of boats.
I can start buying slaves
Tons of
and bring
unseen
them.
servants.
Actually, if I had that much money. Having them work for my insurance agency.
So, after about 2 hours of this conversation, Shayla does like make an excuse and steps away, and she goes to find Mikhail.
She's hot as fuck. She'd love it.
Are you below deck at this point? So she'll kind of come below deck and see you kind of playing with Dog down there, kind of slapping him in the face, almost getting stabbed by his pincer. And she kind of comes over and says, Mike, how truly, tell me truth, how dangerous is this Overkeep Mountains that we're going to?
On a scale
Well,
of 1 to 100.
I reckon that it's the least dangerous of the whole fold once we're inside. But going to it, we might all die.
That is so false.
Not
Go
if
ahead.
not if the 100,000 fucking blue car show back
Go
up
ahead and roll
we
me a
happen
persuasion.
to let
It's
them
not
show up.
necessarily deception, but it's definitely not full truth. So go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Hell.
12. Seriously. It's more dangerous here. You're telling me mortal beings are in this place, and it's not going to be dangerous. We've dealt with immortal beings many a time. They're often the most fickle.
Yup. Exactly.
At some point in the conversation, Warden's going to be walking downstairs looking at the engine.
Okay.
So,
Is there any names in particular I should know?
I'm just gonna give her a real quick brief rundown on every single person that we met in Keith.
Okay.
In whatever that place place underground was called.
Yeah, so that was the Overkeep Chasm, is what it was called. The characters you guys met specifically were obviously the Titans, which were Scotius, Prometheus, Apatis, Hyperion, Cryos, and Kronos. And then you guys had met the science team, which was Marjorie, Voderman, Heskerine, Kimra, Gary, and Jace. You guys never actually met Jace, but you heard of him. So just kind of giving a short rundown of all of those. And we'll also real quick.
I mean, Prometheus is one. That Dr. Wagner. She might like the metal bird lady.
She would probably like Metal Bird Lady.
I like metal bird lady.
Everyone likes Metal Bird Lady.
I just want a metal raven, man. That'd be so badass. Especially since I'm actually made of metal.
Yeah, that was Marjorie. Are you guys good?
Yeah, we're good. You can keep going.
She'll kind of make a note here or there. Just say, as a general rule, I'm assuming I should stay fairly quiet and let you guys do talking.
Yes.
Yes? Is there anything in particular I should avoid while there? Anyone, anything, any area?
No, hang on.
Snake crack.
Snake crack. That
Yes.
sounds
Yeah.
so tantalizing though.
Don't eat any of the snow.
Is it like everywhere?
No, I think so.
It's kind of everywhere, yeah. You will die if you have any, so don't do it.
I will die. Is it a snake only thing?
It's
think that might have been what I did.
you have to have it like hourly for the rest of your life,
Oh, sure.
or your life is very short. Either way.
Oh, joy. I'm gonna go sleep if I can. Wake me up if Nari needs someone to talk to. I'm gonna. And she goes into one of the hammocks.
Damn.
She goes into one of the hammocks and just kind of curls up, and dog.
Mari's just excited to be around another woman.
Dog kind of curls up underneath the hammock and starts rocking her side to side with his head. Dog's too nice. Dog's good.
Dog's fantastic.
So,
Zach, could I make an insight check on her really quick?
sure, go ahead. What are you trying to
Just based on
insight?
those questions. I have not really trusted her yet. And so I'm still evaluating her as a person.
Okay.
Is she someone we can trust?
She's also currently high out of her mind.
So given that I rolled an 11 and I have a +9, I think that I got no information.
A 20 overall, a dirty 20?
No,
No.
I
Oh.
rolled 2 and got an 11
Okay.
and I have a
Okay,
+9.
you said I got an 11 with a +9. So,
Sorry, that's not what I meant, but yeah.
yeah, had me confuzzled. With an 11, you still get some baseline info. I'll go ahead and roll with her charisma. Okay. Not the most charismatic, but she seems, you wouldn't say subservient by any means, but very much trusting her brother and wanting to get as much information as she can before really getting into anything, because it was a question on whether she was going to be attending this group on this journey,
Right.
because you guys were touting it as being so dangerous. And while the Overkeep Chasm might be a less dangerous portion, martially at least, it's probably just as if not more dangerous. And she was just curious. That is how Drake reads it.
Sounds good.
So, does any other conversations wish to occur on our first day of travel?
I'm just driving.
don't care about insurance.
He thinks it's a huge scam.
He thinks insurance is a huge scam.
Yeah.
Nice.
You'd be right.
He'd be right. Okay. So, as we end our first day, any spells being transcribed, any books being read, anything of that sort, you can go ahead and mark as finished. And what is your charisma at now?
19.
19 with the +2 from the book. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Pog. So,
I have a 9, 20, 19, 12, 14, 19.
that's a kind of crazy stat line, I'm gonna be honest. So, as we continue with the boat kind of parking so that Nari can rest a little bit, you guys find a little area right on the outskirts of this like huge cliff face that kind of arcs over, that kind of protects you guys from the rain. Kind of parked under there. What you looking for? Looking through the mini slit. Noise. So, you guys take a long rest. For those of you who are preparing spells, you can go ahead and re-prepare things. As probably sometime mid to late evening, it is anticipated you guys will reach the Overkeep Chasm.
The next evening.
Yeah, the next evening. So, I would like someone to go ahead and roll me a d10.
I got it. We're ready there.
I almost said my babysitter
That's a
doesn't go finger emoji.
6.
My 16-year-old babysitter.
I love that we always roll normal. Must be very delightful.
Almost sent her
What's that?
the emoji. Because it was right next to the emoji.
You sent your
I almost sent.
Almost.
Did not
Should've.
send.
Probably
I
should have,
would-
honestly. What did you say, Drake?
I was just saying that it's funny that we always tend to roll in the middle. That must be very infuriating for you.
Not necessarily. Every number does something different. It's not like a low roll does bad, high roll does good. It's very different. Each roll has a differing thing. Which this one in particular, the storms seem to ramp up slightly.
Flaming tornadoes.
Just a little bit. Not quite that bad. That would have been a 9. But rain increases the torrential downpour. However, the thunder and lightning is what really starts to go crazy. With probably every 20 to 30 seconds, some large booming and roaring thunder just rocks out from the area. Like borderline starting shaking the earth kind of quake. It's a little scary, but that only lasts most of the morning, and past that, it is just rain. Constant, never-ending rain. Honestly, you guys are probably starting to get a little tired of it.
Nari's very tired of it.
Are
Nari-
you okay there?
Getting the metal shavings on my laptop.
The
Nice.
metal shavings?
I work at a machine shop. What do you expect?
Do you just
Why
throw
do you
your
just have your
laptop?
laptop just
Do you
hanging
just have your
out?
laptop just right by the lathe constantly?
On breaks, I do programming for my printer. Whenever something doesn't work, I just manually go into the code and straight send it.
Just kidding. It's on the west side of the street. What? Yeah.
It'll be fine. Nothing will work.
Cool.
Metal shavings. In your butt.
I spent the day. Warden's goal, with the help of analysis, was trying to make a guidance system. Essentially, like think of it like either an autopilot or a system pilot.
It will require an incredibly detailed map to be set up for something like that, but you guys do have a map.
Just a cruise control for the
Sort of,
Yeah.
but more like
Tesla on that drive.
it more or less has the assisted driving. It keeps the correct height and things like that to remain
What the
silent.
fuck is this?
Like it's autocorrective. It's autocorrective with height and things. Will dodge
Okay.
boulders or trees or things
I'm
like
gonna have
that.
you go ahead and roll me.
And then the last thing is
Natural
that
20.
you kind of you can input cardinal directions and distances essentially, and say this is where I want you to go cardinal direction and distance wise. Like say like 3 steps in advance. It's like I want you to go 20 miles in this direction and pivot, 45 degrees and go another 3 miles.
Yeah.
So it's input manually, but
Okay, so I'm gonna have you go
Roll
ahead,
rudimentary.
roll me a. Do you have tinkering as a skill already set up? So go ahead and roll me an Arcana, a tinkering, and a luck.
I have
That was lucky.
That was lucky.
Who said that?
I think your mouse is almost dead.
Number
It
7.
is.
yes.
Charge it.
I'm wondering about all the evil I'm gonna have to
My tinkering tools are +7. Okay. So you said tinkering tools.
Tinkering, luck, Arcana.
Okay. Tinkering. 26. It's a 19. There's 26 on tinkering. Arcana is a 18, and you said luck.
Yep.
Is 12 plus 3 is 15.
15.
So
So that's a 59 overall. So you begin working on your whole first day, and you pretty much have to like fabricate yourself or create like pretty much a box of which a steel box that you can be moving circuits and stuff in,
and I have
start programming it.
various metals for circuitry in my
Yeah.
bag. of tools.
I will tell you, you'll not be able to finish it before reaching
That's
the
fine.
Overkeep Chasm.
More or less something that we can have on the way back. And plus, I can. It's something that I can install and then take back when we return. So I can tweak it for whatever I'm using. A self-driving boat. Yeah, whatever it is.
So, that is what Warden is working on. Is there any other notable things people would like to be doing over the rest of the trip in?
Nari is kind of like mindlessly thinking about how she's gonna start her insurance.
Is Nari
Nari has been
seriously-
frustrated that she does not have many skills in which she can make money outside of fighting, because that's just what she knows best, and it's like what she does. So
Work for the
now
huntsman.
that this insurance thing has
The most unhinged comment one could have made about Nari.
Hey, I mean, she's not blacklisted from the huntsman like I am, or the bird, or the other
No.
bird, or.
the fire lady was on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been on
The
posters.
red
and
woman
shit.
was on the
Oh, she was?
original note.
Yeah.
But that was the
Bitch, I
original
wanted
one.
to.
The original one was taken down a month ago.
Okay, just because it got taken down to the general populace does not mean everyone doesn't fucking remember it. Okay.
That also it isn't like this is like a Flynn Rider, like they can't get my nose right. I'm literally red.
She's literally
I'm
wet.
literally wet.
And she looks like every other fire ganassi. It was a fire.
Ganassi?
It was a fire ganassi with a giant metal automaton and a black raven. Okay, it was the grouping that was the identification. Her owner is
Excuse
solo.
me, I'm white right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's also a little bit fatter and he's female, so he can pass.
Let me know when you reverse Michael Jackson.
We can
Okay.
pass as a Karen.
I think we're now
Does
learning
have
Warden is extremely racist.
Just wait for Nibs to get back into this.
Mr. Mike's
This
Mr.
is
Mike's
actually fucking racist.
Mr. Mike's gonna come over here and go hee hee. Black to white in my face. Okay,
Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you walking?
And that's for you two. Anyways.
Okay. So, any last qualms, conversations?
As I've gotten the majority of these main structures and circuitries going, Warden, because it's been, right now he's been focusing on the skiff and the safety of the party and obvious things like that. He is he wants to probe his mind again. He kind of just had a thought and he decided to try to he laid down all of the components with the box that's exposed and all the components out about, and he stops some things for a sec and he wants to probe his mind and think very deeply and say hello.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Because, the previous day was when he did the divination and all that jazz.
Yeah.
That was a 12.
Overall,
Yeah, I rolled 4 plus 8, so...
yeah, you continue to not be able to narrow down whatever this is inside you that you can sense.
It's Annie.
Are you okay? Not walking, that's for sure.
It's Johnny.
Oh my god. Does Gorge see any, like, flying creatures, like small bird-like fuckers?
Every once in a while, not small, but a almost humanoid shape with wings will be seen passing through the clouds.
No smaller, or just that big?
No small birds.
Okay.
Well, why? What is your...
I was gonna try to have some of my familiar have them mimic kind of the look and appearance.
Flying creatures aren't really around when you consider just a constant, everlasting storm. Things in the sky don't really stay in the sky long.
Fair.
Along with the fact that the thing that eats everything is in the skies. So...
Well, when I saw him, all inside the same Tresium, but gray,
Okay.
little fucked looking.
Little foot.
Little fucked looking. Incest Tresium.
The incest Tresium is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Such a greasy piece.
No, that's just the.
that's the one
water
that
sauce.
that's the one that the guy came on.
He was the guy.
I didn't have enough time after getting home with the pizza.
Did you get a wall drop?
Okay.
I believe it.
Anyways, so we are going to skip through the majority of that day as you guys pull up to the point where you can see these giant mountains. They're far ahead of you, but they are so big that they almost cut through the darkness. Most of you guys recognize them, or at least recognize the mountain range as a whole, coming at it from a very different direction this time. You guys are able to kind of weave your way through the large clusters of rock, making your way up to this mountain range, where from this angle, you guys would see like the edges of, from this direction, what would be probably somewhere around 200 to 300 foot wall, 200 to 300 foot tall walls that are, as of now, gray with slight hints of like blue and green hue that, like, when the lightning flashes, it almost shines off this wall off in the distance. You guys would know that city to be Kutor Lot. You guys passed by it on your last time in the fold, and are again passing by it just on the north side of the city this time. Continuing to make your way through, you guys eventually pull up to where Nari kind of stops the ship as ahead of you is a multi-hundred-foot tall black iron gate with that clock and what are the things called? The time things that you flip over that have sand.
Hourglass.
Hourglass, yeah. The ticking hourglass
They don't
clock.
They kind of just fall.
No, like this has hourglass as the arms, is what I'm saying.
Weird.
Yes, it is weird.
Yeah.
At the top of this, and as you guys pull up, and the gates open, walking out is a singular figure that is the same as the last person you met at the gates. A tall, gaunt, Yankee-faced creature who kind of steps out and just waits for you to get out of the ship. Well, back at it again.
With the white vans.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
So who all is Shayla coming? Is Dog coming? Is everyone attending?
I am attending.
You're attending.
Don't know what, but I'm attending.
Same.
Nari's going. She doesn't like doing much.
Yeah.
All right. So with everyone slowly
And I'm lugging that heart on my back.
Yep. You've got the heart. You've got the blood and the soul.
My dashing personality.
If that's what you want to call it, Nari. And as you guys kind of make your way down the ladder of the skiff, greeting you is again Kronos. And stepping up, I see you have returned. What have you brought us?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Got some blood, and a soul, and a heart.
That was quick work.
We're just that good.
Timing here is different, but I believe it was only maybe a month and a half to 2 months that you were gone.
Something like that.
My brothers will be pleased. And what of the other 3 that left with you?
Pursuing other pursuits.
That is quite vague. The council will prefer a more descriptive answer. You may follow. He kind of
And I'm gonna be like,
and as he's walking away, just as you moved the last time, it is almost like he is skipping frames, lagging in time, as he swiftly moves towards the gate. I'm assuming you all follow. So,
I'm still in my white form.
in your white form, okay.
I mean, they know you're a changeling.
Until we get inside, at which point I'll go back to my normal.
As you guys are entering, Shayla right behind you says, "Which one was that?"
Kronos.
Kronos. He's the time guy.
Yeah.
He moves weird.
Oh yeah.
Why did you say it like that? Oh yeah. Why did you say it like that? Why are you so fucking weird? As you guys continue, nothing has changed. To set it plainly, as you guys step through this mountain pass that like leads deeper into this massive crevice between these mountains, everything is the same. And you guys eventually come out onto this platform with stairs going around this massive chasm to your right and left, where Gorsh and Ton and Shayla for the first time see the Overkeep Chasm, which, from what you can tell, probably goes somewhere between 8 to 1,200 feet down in the chasm, with stairs that are 10, 12 feet wide with railings. We're OSHA, we don't violate OSHA here. Going all the way around in different patterns with plates of just like steel that seem to just float people around.
I was gonna say, like, they had the floating elevators, don't they?
They did have floating elevators around. And the few people that the 3 that haven't been here see are all of them humanoid with slight snake-like characteristics.
Oh.
Whether that be a forked tongue or green scales on their cheek, maybe eyelids that close sideways. In fact, most have that feature. Some have a tail or a forked snake tail. The maybe dozen people you see traveling actively around the area all have a feature or two that are snake-like. My brother in Christ, how many have you had?
This is my first plate.
Okay. I'm just sitting over here. I thought you already had a
He's
plate.
gonna make up for all the stuff that Jack's not eating, you know?
I was gonna say, I didn't order 4 because Jack and Ethan weren't gonna be here. But, dang.
I was wondering why there was so damn much still in there when I went to get one more
I
extra
had not
piece.
taken.
Because I started with 3 today instead of 4, and then I decided I still wanted a 4th one.
Yeah. So, as you guys enter in to this massive platform, Kronos kind of shifts face and turns back towards you. The council is ready for you if you will continue to follow me. He kind of goes down the stairs, changes elevation maybe 100 or 200 feet before one of those elevators is called over, and you guys are brought to this massive central pedestal in the center of the chasm that reaches all the way from the bottom all the way past where you guys entered in. Maybe only 100 or 200 feet wide, though it's not a very large tower. Upon entering into the tower, you guys see what was mentioned in terms of snake crack, because there is a lot of it here. Nearly on every passing table or desk, there is just a small portion, bag, jar,
Remind me
glass.
what they do with it.
They consume it.
It's crack.
It does not have negative effects for the UR.
It's just for entertainment.
pretty
at that
much.
point.
It is almost borderline candy for them. And it doesn't really intoxicate them all that much. Their facilities can handle it a little bit better than most mortals. In fact, it was designed that way for them to be able to handle it, and pretty much no one else do. So you guys pass far more of the Yuan tea in here than you did outside, with maybe 100 to 150 being inside the tower from the lower area where you guys entered, and the multiple staircases and other places you have to take to get up to the top of the tower, where these 2 large stone doors kind of open up as Kronos just skips into the room, almost teleporting into a seat. The familiar council chamber that has windows on all sides, seeing the entirety of the chasm, with even windows below you. You guys kind of step out, and there are chairs for all of you there.
You said there's chairs for all of us?
Yes, there are chairs for everyone.
I'll go sit.
Alright, does everyone take a seat?
No.
I stay.
Yeah.
No, I said like right behind her. See?
Dory stands right behind her seat.
Or, yeah, sorry.
Gorge continues to stand. Tom's gonna take a seat, and then seated now.
I'm gonna sit down.
Warden is going to place the bag in front of himself, sit in a chair, and all forearms crossed.
All forearms. Not just my forearms. All forearms.
In the
So
middle.
it's
or
just two sets of it's just 2 sets of crossed arms.
No.
He's also supposed to crisscross.
Yes, sir.
Crossing his penis as well.
So as you guys sit down, you see the familiar, not super familiar, but semi-familiar 6 faces. The head of the table, who is in the form of a Yuan Ti, and just at his right and left, also in forms of Yuan Ti, being Scosius in the middle, with Apatis and Prometheus on his right and left, along with the drow form that is Cryos, the Gith that is Kronos, and then the almost like lion man that is Hyperion. Prometheus says, "Well, welcome back. We didn't expect you back so soon. What you got for us?"
Start emptying out my bag on the table. Pull out the blood and the soul. Then I motion for his the heart that he's got.
Are you putting this all on the table or something? Okay.
I mean, you already set the heart on
Well,
the table.
no, I said in front of me.
The table's on front of us, isn't it?
Yeah, table is here. People are on the other side of the table.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
like a round table.
I
It's
didn't
like
realize
he's
that.
the council and I'm
Never
the party.
mind. Warden said it like not on the table, but beside him.
Okay, beside him.
But, well, yeah, Warden's gonna stand up, all four arms, pick up the heart, put it in front of him, gently enough, obviously. I mean, it's still frozen, technically,
It's big as well.
but it's big. So, onto the table.
All right. Well, I mean that's 3 of 4. Where are your other friends? I remember 2 weren't really friends, but
Those two are pursuing the fourth, I think.
2 of them weren't friends. That was Zereth and Nibs.
Yeah.
Seraphim's Eye.
Zerathan's Eye will be coming here and delivering the riddle of a sphinx within the next month or 2. They
Alright,
had to they had to travel overseas, so it will take them some time.
Epetus speaks up. And what of your small draconic friend?
After the battle with the ancient devil, and he gestures to the jar, he decided to take up other means and focus on the original primary mission of our what's the word I'm looking for?
Primary mission of our party, our original goal upon coming here.
The original goal of our party, tasked by the consortio to stir the rebellion of the slaves and cause that uprising. So he's been primarily focused on the tasks.
All right. Just kind of an awkward silence for a little bit, and Prometheus kind of looks around and is like, "Well, thank you. There certainly will be some rewards and such. Obviously, what's written into the contract, which, speaking of, since you guys at least have fulfilled your contract, and since there is runes of truth in this room, we know you are not lying. And while I cannot fully release you until you have finished other things, I can at least put on hold any negative effects since you guys are in transit. Other than that, we appreciate you guys. This is really fucking awkward.
Yeah, can you stop?
As per the contract, what are your plans per your end of the deal?
I'm gonna leave that to my brother, and Epetus will again speak, and he will say,
And as soon as he speaks, he holds up his hand and says, "Obviously, I wouldn't be able to tell, but do the runes of truth work on you as well?"
yes. Obviously, I could supersede them, but it would be fairly easy to tell if I did.
Understood. Continue.
The intent of us is that, like our creators before us, more than not once we are released, with the little information we have accrued from both your minds and some few other minds that have entered the fold since you have left us, which has been a surprising amount. It has become a more popular place, apparently. Far weaker and stronger people have entered, but many have still died, even with our few attempts to save some of them. The general consensus between the council is that we, as the Titans, will not do much in participating, but our people will. We have 826 Yuan-Ti, the last of their kind. While they obviously would like to survive and continue their race, as there are none left on your plane, they are much stronger than even you. Or at least equal. They have been a long time here with nothing but to train. They have chosen not to reproduce. In fact, many have taken their own lives while here, not wishing to live an immortal life in an everlasting storm. But those that
They couldn't die.
you can die by martial means in here, and while their souls cannot fully move on, those who were unfortunate enough to take their lives before we knew that did so. And some have chosen to become a ghost or a Vlukar over the life that they had, preferring a mindless hunger over a sentient starvation.
And what will be the council's orders to these 820 Yuan-Ti soldiers?
They have their own generals who will be taking things time by time. In fact, unnoticed by you guys up to this point, kind of stepping from back corners of the room, there are 3 Yuan-Ti sitting here, kind of listening in on this council meeting. Epedus continues. They will not be subordinates, but they will work with you. They have our orders. Let me put it this way, Warden. Slavery is an abomination that we did not allow persist in our time. Trust me when we say that we will help you abolish it in this world. At least as much as we can here on Dan to start. The Yuan-Ti have served us faithfully for a long time. They are my brother's own children. He kind of notions over to Skosis. As their creator, they are loyal to him, but they have served for many more thousand years than anticipated. Past Dern, I cannot promise their loyalty to your cause, but while here, they will help.
The contract only speaks of what happens here on there.
Yes.
I am well aware of that.
You may be able to sacrifice some help, but from what we understand, a divine gate has been placed, and all of the primordials are either locked in other planes or in slumber deep beneath this earth. While we seek revenge and will take it upon the few primordials we believe we can reach, we do not intend on interfering much, as creatures of our level of power, walking among the mortal races again would likely be catastrophic to this world as it is now. I'm not making Logan's
Warden kind of scans the other council members and locks eyes with Prometheus and says, as I'm sure you have all already probed our minds, we are well aware of your intentions to release the primordials. The only other task that I ask of your generals, as he looks at them, it says, after our primary mission is done, I only ask that you assist in the evacuation of the people of this continent, related or unrelated to our mission. I wish to see that no civilian casualties come about this vengeful onslaught.
We will do our best not to incur catastrophe among the small folk. However, we cannot promise, as we do not know where these primordials are. On the far coast from where civilization is. But from this point, you will have approximately 5.5 months to prepare and hopefully have everything extracted by around then. Or at least have the beginnings of it planned.
Sorry to break from the role playing here, but was it Prometheus or the scientists locked in the basement that we asked about the collars for them to
You
look
guys
at?
asked the scientists underneath.
Was it?
We asked the scientists.
I thought we also asked Prometheus.
Maybe you asked Prometheus, but nothing really came from that. It was primarily asking the scientists, who said that they would at least look into it.
Okay, sounds good. This is before I say something out of line.
Or you talk out your butt, which you already do, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Continue.
No.
Bro just lost his train of thought.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Well, because that was like the next thing I was going to mention with the collars thing, but I was like, I can't remember if we talked to Prometheus or if we talked to like Bachman and his buddies. Now that we have that sorted, moving on, you spoke of reward as well as other things.
Yes. I will leave that to my brother Prometheus. Prometheus is like, yeah, I'm the gift giver, I get it. With some of the things we already gave you, we'll either recharge some of those things, like the scroll of interplanar travel that we had given you. We'll acquire another one of those or have it crafted. Your friend Bird Mikhail, as his part of the bargain is done as well, his weapon will increase in power as well. We may be able to sacrifice a few other items in gold as well. However, the vast majority of anything of worth in the Overkeep Chasm and in the Fold as a whole will be placed as items of worth in the ritual.
Warden nods and says, if memory recalls me, I did make a request for some of the power cells for these, what are they called? Tools.
I believe we would be able to sacrifice something in that regard, along with an ability to recharge them. I hope you understand our worry in things of introducing futuristic technology to a comparatively primitive world. Advancing too quickly and too sharply can be quite disadvantageous to mortal races as a whole.
I am well aware of the effects. These power cells will be locked within that person.
That would be preferred. Epetus speaks up. again and says, if you would like to meet them at some point, behind you are Skaradun, Harapit, and Jeremy. They are the 3 Yuan-Ti generals who will be leading these people.
I'm gonna say that over our telepathy thing. What was the name of these people?
Was this customary 15,000 years to just be
Warden's gonna pipe in.
And by the way, it's Jeremy is spelled Jaeremi. Jeremy.
And Warden,
The urge to cast.
Warden's gonna respond to Nari and say, well, 14,000 plus years ago, these were very common names
Among the Yuan-Ti, yes.
among their race.
That's the face Nari's gonna like project over the chat just to
You can't project the face, I'm sorry. There's no emoticons.
She's
or
just gonna like
emotions.
randomly just go.
I can't do emotes.
It's not a bomb.
It's, yeah, it's not where his telepathic bond.
I know, you know, yeah.
Apatis will continue.
Okay, fine.
These are some of the greatest warriors the Yuan-Ti have known. Treat them with respect and they will treat you with respect. Know that they will not like you, but they will follow you and work with you.
Wonderful.
He just gives Nari like a nasty side eye.
Bombastic side eye.
Not bombastic. Bombastic is a little bit more.
Yeah.
This is it.
Nari's literally.
Apatis just smites you. just fucking. Let me just roll some dice real quick. Rolls my entire dice tray.
Brings out one of your bucket of dice and just
6,031 fuck you damage.
That'll be
Yeah,
a
I rolled it
14th level power word kill. If you are under 5,000 hit points, you die.
Warden is going to get up and walk over and meet the generals and talking to all of them, say, I wish to know your combat expertise as well as your history in war prior to the... What was the bomb called?
It was called the Sturm die Umbra.
Prior to the Stern.
Skaradun is
And
going.
he's gonna kind of just notion it's like at one at a time kind of thing, just notion.
Yeah. Skaradun is going to say, Skaradun can speak for all of us.
Why do you sound like a Star
Sounds
Wars
like a
character?
bitch.
We are proficient in any form of combats that may persist. We have warred against the dwarven people that I believe control, or at least the dwarvens of the past. They may be stout against most poisons, but ours are trained against it.
Hell yeah. Anti-dwarf gas chambers. Listen okay. Listen okay.
Anyway,
We can. Every Yuan-Ti is trained in most forms of combat. They are proficient in some arcane magics while having any simple or martial weapons under their belt. Spear and shield. If a shield wall is needed, they can run a vanguard. If they must change their form in small ways to sneak into a city to attack it from within, they are great liars and deceivers. They can do what is needed to take over, or at least help.
After a brief pause of pondering, Warden says, After this conversation, I would appreciate a breakdown of all of your warriors, spellcasters, healers, and a sword. Between
There
all
are few
eight.
healers among us.
Yes. Later on, if you could just give me a breakdown of how many and to what generals they are assigned to of each primary role in combat they are.
I would be considered the Grand General, I believe, in your language. It is a strange translation to common. But all three of us will be leading different segments dependent upon what is needed in combat. Haraput is best when it comes to leading the front lines. Jeremy is better at scheming and placing people in areas of power to destroy things from within. More long-term civilization destruction. And I am more trained in all of it, but not as specialized.
I have a question.
Yes, Mikael.
You said it's a strange translation to common. What would it be in your native tongue?
Fuck you.
Warden.
Skiarzas Komdugara.
There you go.
Much better.
Okay, Warden just wants like a breakdown of the troops. Like how many healers, how many spellcasters, how many.
No, when he said they are all trained, like all 824 have skill in simple and martial weapons and would probably be considered up to in between 5th and 9th level wizards.
Ah, okay.
They have
Sounds
had
good.
14 plus thousand years and they were already one of the most elite forces in the world before entering the fold. And they have had nothing to do but train for 14,000 years.
Well, when
And
you're
they
running
actively
levels in every
chose
class.
not to reproduce.
Okay.
So to not bring more people into the fold.
Okay.
Because
Warden-
even
Warden understands
even their
that.
children couldn't leave the fold.
Okay. I said in odds or evens, I roll evens. Warden does in fact understand what he was trying to get at.
How do they know their children couldn't leave?
Because they bred and their children couldn't leave. And that's when they decided to stop.
They had
I
14,000
guess I
years
missed
to
that
figure it out.
While their time for reproduction is a little bit longer than your average humans, still within the first few years they were like, oh, why don't we just have kids? They can probably leave, right? 5 years later, kids try and walk out.
Anyways, what else was I gonna say? Oh, moving on. Do indulge me on some of the histories in the battles that you have been involved in prior to the. I forgot the word of the bomb already, but I said the word of the bomb already. What?
The Sturm de Umbras.
Stern de
The Esus was not a warring nation by most regards. We were mostly trained in simulations that graphically and perfectly simulated a true battle between us and any of the other cities, whether that be the demons of Avarus, or more specifically the devils and demons of Avarus, or the wizarding types from Avalier and their flying cities.
Warden's going to notion to pause him for a moment and say, what were each of your roles in the outbreak of, I forgot the word of the bomb again, the bomb.
Just say the bomb from now on. Your ADHD's getting deep.
I think common translation is failing me here.
Bomb.
But
Bomb.
but like I said prior, but now I'm saying like at the outbreak of it.
At the outbreak.
What were each of your roles?
During this time, Harapit was outside of the cities with a large host of both our forces, along with gnomish war machines, automaton war machines, and some of the Leonin outriders. he was holding the fields while Jeremy was with a few hundred of the shifted Yuan-Ti in one of the other cities, sowing miscontent in the civilian population. There were many, many alliances. Hutor Lot, the city that the bomb went off in, had some other alliances. The city of Avala in particular, a wizarding city that flew among the skies like a few other cities of the time, was well known to like the elven wines that came from the vineyards of Hutor Lot. And Jeremy at the time was with a few hundred, making their way up the Arcanist ranks there to sow some discontent, as I was in the city itself, doing our best to contain the corruption.
I know that you understand my origins,
Some minimal.
but my knowledge of the conflict with the corruption is slim or next to none, as I was quickly disassembled by my creator, Dr. Bachman. Tell me about the conflict that ensued. What happened?
When the first day of the outbreak occurred, it was believed that some form of mainframe that a large portion of the automatons were connected to in the district of which they sleep was corrupted in some regards. It was primarily the northeastern quadrant that everyone connected to that charge station immediately slaughtered the families that they once served, or the other. Most of the automatons there were commercial, but much havoc was still caused as it borderlined the Sunlight District, and those in the Sunlight District woke and specifically enjoyed the breaking of the limbs before a smashing of skull. It was not necessarily proven, but it was guessed that they liked the screaming, almost wanting it to suffer, while gaining some sense of what they were and what they had been used for. The idea of sentiency is not, I believe that's the word, not right to describe what it was, as sentiency is describing empathy.
Sapiency?
Sentiency is something else. Sentiency is emotional connection.
Sentience is
Right.
like self-awareness.
Say sentient
You said it's
self-worth.
not sentience, so would it be sapient?
What he's saying is they became sentient, but not in the sentience of the sense that like they had.
What he was saying is they became conscious, but not sentient.
They lacked sentience. They didn't have empathy or anything else like that. They gained self-awareness, but not
Empathy.
empathy. Yeah, like they not humanness, essentially, like for lack of a better word.
And in this corruption, many of those commercial androids moved to other quadrants and corrupted them over the next few days. To describe it best, Esius was not a warring city. We had one sector with major military presence. The rest were merely guarded by automatons and the few Leonin or humans that wished to form a city watch. It was more a volunteer group than anything normal. With as much of an autonomous population, the idea of jobs or work was minimal. Many grew complacent. Nearly no one carried weapons in their home. And the Chancellor himself seemed to be okay with this complacency. Not expecting such a drastic change.
Thank you for all of the histories. I'm sure that we will talk more, or at least hear from each other again.
If you wish to hear the full histories of the great city Elseus, your Dr. Voberman was alive for long before any of us URT were, by use of sheath.
Warden's gonna give that customer service kind of smile and say, "Thank you."
AKA, I'm done with this conversation, fuck off, but
And
I want to be
he's-
nice.
He's saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Thank you. I have. It is already on my itinerary to see him directly after this meeting. I'm sure we will talk again, and I'm sure I will see all three of you again, or hear from you after the ritual."
Alright, if you have any questions, you are welcome to speak to any one of us three.
Warden's gonna give a thumbs up.
How many thumbs up? Just one?
Just one. The
Just one.
the lower arms are crossed behind his back.
Okay.
Typically, in most stances.
So I'm assuming kind of most people were listening in on this questioning of the URT generals.
Yeah. Anyone else want to do anything?
Any other questions from the rest of the group? There was a lot dropped there.
I do not know who any of these people are, and they don't have any idea who the fuck I am.
Well, they kind of do because they've probed you. They're
Well,
this
yeah.
way.
They've raped me a little bit,
They've
but that's
mentioned
about
rape
it.
you, but that's about it. Prometheus will kind of beckon everyone and just say, if you have any more questions for us, we can discuss later. And Mike, as he says that, everything kind of seems to slow to a crawl, and you see everything is stopped. Even the other Titans, all except for Kronos. All of the other Titans seem to be in a standstill of time as he kind of walks over to you and says, well, your pact is technically fulfilled at this point, with you finding your sister, and you bringing us back the items.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to persist in this with a new pact?
What did you have in mind?
Well, we do not intend on taking immense direct confrontation in the primaterial plane. We will still need arbiters. From what we can tell, the Sentinels of old have long gone. I'm not necessarily presenting you that, because that is a very, very daunting task. But for a time, and I can be generous with the time, it could be a few years, it could be a few months if you so wished, but so that you maintain the power that you've grown, you may continue in some regards under the service of the Quiran Council.
Oh, you're just signing up to work for them.
Or you may let it continue. Your weapon will remain as it is, in an unawakened state, and you will be able to march out through the rest of your life. Mechanically, what this would be is you would lose your warlock levels, and you would just gain all of those rogue levels up to what you were.
Okay. Seeing as he's probably not going to wish to remain on this plane of existence once all of this is said and done, because him and Shayla are probably gonna bounce, go continue exploring or whatever.
It's done.
What do you say, Jade?
It's done. He doesn't want to be here. We got the contract. We're good. Let's go.
Gonna have to stick around probably a day or two.
Fine.
Warden has another meeting.
Warden has one other meeting, and there are some other things to happen here. So, you are welcome to sign it for an equivalent of 6 months from now, which would place you nearly a month past the ritual's end.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right, and he kind of
See things through on this.
flicks out a piece of paper. Also, would you like your weapon? Well, it will be enhanced, but it could offer some guidance and wisdom as well, if you so wished.
What? We'll talk to you.
What's that mean?
You'll just have to figure out.
He's gonna be like, fuck it, yeah.
All right, and he is going to ask you to present the weapon. And he is going to take his scroll, and a little bit of ink kind of comes from it, and he slaps the stock of the rifle, and then says, "Would you like to sign again or use the signature already placed?"
Does it make a difference?
Only if you're paranoid.
No. Can I just really quickly just skim it?
Nothing has changed except for a new time frame has been set in the goals. Rather than it being about your sister, it is about carrying the purveyorship primarily of the destruction of slavery among this plane, along with specifically protection of those who cannot protect themselves, and there is one minor caveat that you kind of expected in there, where information leading to or supporting like a primordial lead of any kind would pretty much be immediately taken from your mind and used as information. Not like you wouldn't remember it, but it would be immediately known if you heard anything about a primordial.
Yeah.
And it would change your weapon to its awakened form or conscious form as it is. So if you search up in your things, you should be able to search up the same psychic lancer, and there'll be in parentheses conscious. And once you attune to that,
As opposed to unconscious.
yes, the weapon was not conscious up to this point. So with that, and Kronos is kind of just sitting there, giving you this strange look, trying to kind
Ooh,
of
it
read
gets
you.
a new color.
It does get a new color. It is not an artifact. I don't believe I said it too, but it is legendary now.
Yeah, it's legendary.
Base damage did not increase, I do not believe, but spellcasting abilities and spell save DCs did, along with a couple other fun little things.
Okay.
So, peruse that. And as that happens, you guys all begin walking out as soon as Prometheus walks back to his chair and ends the time stop, and then kind of gets up and beckons you all to leave. And as you guys leave, you notice the Yuan-Ti generals stay, and as the door opens for you guys to leave, the entire science team is right there being marched in as you guys are marched out. Dr. Voberman gives a curt nod to Warden as he passes and says, we'll talk soon when you get out. Don't worry. As he walks into the meeting.
Okay. Well, I guess we're all gonna walk. What are we gonna do? Just kind of go chill out.
There is both the barracks that you guys slept in last time, which, by the way, it is mid to late evening at this point.
I'll probably go back to the skiff and sleep there.
Okay.
TBH.
Okay.
Rather not be
It
around
is
all these
about
humans.
a 45 to hour long trek to get back up there. Okay. Is anyone else wanting to go with Nari back to the ship?
I can make it faster if tree hop is there.
There are no trees.
It is
Oh,
literally a mountain,
great.
is it not?
It is a mountain. You guys are in a chasm dug into a mountain.
We're inside of a mountain.
No, I'll chill here.
You'll chill here. Does Trake want to go back to the ship?
Is Nari the only one going?
It seems like it as of now, yeah. Shayla.
That's bad
I
idea.
go down and attack. Overall, because it's the same item. It's just got more stuff on it, right? Like it didn't lose.
You
Like,
should not have lose. It really should have gone up.
because it went from a plus 13 to a plus 12.
It should be a plus 14. I don't know where a plus 2 didn't go in, but it should have gained a plus 1 to attack.
It might not be applying my archery
That's probably what it is. would be my guess.
potentially.
Yeah, so I see your, on this Psychic Lancer, Conscious is a plus 11.
No, mine's showing it was a plus 12. And my unawakened one was a plus 13.
Okay,
Well,
I'm seeing something
figure it
different on my screen. I don't know what to say.
Huh.
Reload.
I just did.
Oh, now it says plus. What the fuck? It went from a plus 12 to a plus 11
So
now.
let me think of this. So you've got plus 5 dexterity, plus 4 proficiency. That would put you at a plus 9. If you have the archer feat included, that would make it a plus 11. And so the weapon should be a plus 2 on top of that. It was only a plus 1 in its earlier
Right,
state.
so
So it should be a plus 13 now. I don't know.
instead of a plus.
Instead of a plus 12. I don't know how your weapon was a plus 13 already.
I honestly don't either.
Because pretty much everything that was a plus 1 went
Oh,
to
it
a plus.
unattuned it. What the fuck?
Oh, that's probably fucking why.
Now it says it's a plus 12.
Yeah, and it should be a plus 13. So you can go ahead and give it a plus 1 magic
Okay.
to attack the image, and then you should be good there. And you see the whole new line of spells to cast in there.
Yeah. Yeah, let's try that. 1 damage bonus, 1 ticket bonus. Go here.
That looks about right.
Let's see. I think it stayed. Yeah. And then I put the charges from the old one in as 44 out of 72
Okay.
left.
And go ahead and put it back up to 72.
Okay. Cool.
Not like it'll fucking matter. Probably 42 wouldn't have mattered for the rest of this game. Either way, as you guys are beckoned out, Shayla will go ahead and join Nari heading back to the ship. She was kind of freaked out by the council.
Yeah.
A little creeped out by some of the people there.
I'll go back to the ship as well.
Okay, so Mike will go back to the ship as well. just for sleep? Is this just for sleep, or is it kind of just to go back there until you guys leave?
I mean, I'm pretty much done in there. I don't really.
You don't want to talk to any of the science people?
Gorsh has
Nah,
tons
I know your sister did.
Gorsha has tons of
That's
questions.
why I'm.
Or did? Did his sister want to talk to all this, any
She
of the
wants to
science
go see
people?
Larry. I don't think she wanted to talk to anyone.
That is fair. So she might actually. She'll
Who does she
go.
want to talk to?
Some of the science team. Marjorie with the metal
Oh.
animals, and Haskarine, who was the
Botanist.
botanist guy. She had interest in both of those. So she'll go back to the ship just for the evening and then come back in the morning.
I'll come to you then.
Drake, what were you saying?
I will go too if we are getting the group going.
Okay. It seems like Warden and Gorsh will stay. Atan will go ahead and go with everyone. Well, Atan will stay with Warden, as he's worried about Warden's dragon mark, and Warden's going to talk to Voberman about that. So we've got Nari, Shayla, Dog, Mike, Shrake, all heading back, with Gorsh, Atan, and Warden sticking around. What you smirking for?
This is it's a meme. Sorry.
Alright, so, Warden, Atan, Gorsh, I'm assuming you guys just head to like the mess hall or something and get some food.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need food, but if Tom does, but I'll go over to the mess hall and
Try some fold food.
while you two are eating. Wait, what? What's the gnome doing?
The gnome's going back to the ship.
Okay. Well, with them two, yeah, I'll go to the mess hall and crack back open my little guidance system box that I've been working on and continue working on it. And as I'm working on it, I'm going to attempt to probe even deeper. And instead of saying just hello, he's going to ask, you had something very poignant to, in his mind, you had something very poignant to say when you first spoke to me. And now you don't talk at all. Who are you?
Go ahead and roll an Arcana check with advantage.
Fuck yes. That is an 18.
No, that's not 18.
See, that was very nice.
18.
18 overall.
Yeah.
Don't you have like a plus 10?
Plus 8.
Plus 8.
But I roll a 10 and a 2.
Oh.
I was gonna say 10's the highest you've rolled on any of these checks, and you've rolled like 5 now.
I know!
Okay. So, as you're sitting there, probing into your very like magical core, you not as much hear as you like feel something. Like you finally narrowed in on this presence. And it almost seems kind of nervous. And you hear back, it's a very strange thing, living in something else. I'm trying to figure out where my place is in here, or whether my place should be out there.
Physically, to those around you, I was just kind of opening up all my box and then stop for a second. But then as soon as the voice responds, I'm going to immediately just like very abruptly sit up straight and just like deadpan straight ahead. Like I'm not focused on anything around me kind of thing. But
Gorsh and Atan would see that the few bits of the mark almost seem to like flare a little bit.
Warden taking in the fact that he, well, wasn't just imagining a voice in his head. Repeats himself. Who are you? And what are you doing inside my head?
I am you. I am you before you existed. I was called Acer.
I know Jack's not here to play a taunt, but the two of you, if you paid any, were wanting to pay any attention, my eyes are darting around like crazy, just around the room, like holy shit. How long ago was our first venture into the fold again?
Close to 2 months ago at this point.
Creative flub here for a sec. My memories were repaired 1 month, 27 days, 8 hours, and 37 minutes ago. You are telling me just now you decided to tell me you can talk.
I could not talk until a new essence entered. When the dragon bit you and then died, a portion of that draconic soul was stuck in you. Or at least, that is how best I can tell what happened. You did not consciously grasp onto that power, but what little was left in your mainframe, what little of me was left, did.
Warden's is going to silently ponder. He's racing through hundreds of different thoughts right now, and trying to roll back through memories and things like that of from the dragon fight, and then from when he got his memories back, and then the memories that he got back. He's gonna just be kind of, his mind's gonna be racing through all of these different things. So.
I am, as of yet, still weakened compared to my previous nature, and obviously do not have control of this body anymore. But I am still here. I have power, what's like there is in the mark of an ancient dragon, that could be used of assistance in some way.
Sorry, it's just like
Warden.
this like moment in between our minutes,
Yeah.
just like in the back row.
Responding.
1856.
Responding, Warden says, "It is of my memory, or should I say, yours, and of my knowledge that you were created as a research and development automaton.
Yes.
What type of magic are you talking about to assist me?"
What I originally was.
And he's gonna immediately.
capable
Warden's, you know, in a midlife panic. Or should I say 14,000-year panic?
late life panic.
Late life.
And say, Jack mentioned sorcery. Sorcery doesn't involve anything with creation. I know this.
Sorcery can create, but a sorceress' potential is what power has not given, is the power I have taken in this regard. I do not have my original capabilities, but rather some innate, almost draconic power that I could lend, or that you could call upon.
Warden's actually gonna.
He gobbled up Ceres's seed. It's like, I am
Gobble.
Sorry,
now.
that sentence. Sarah Sis's seed. Say that 10 times
Show it in the
fast.
quote book. You gobbled up Ceres's seed.
Yes, for Thomas.
Warden is actively thinking. I'm trying to word this very specifically, but I might just pull the trigger and see what happens.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah. You
We know.
You get exhaustion.
you mentioned not having full control of the mainframe.
No.
You seem eager to lend me this power of yours.
I did not live very long, Warden. And the life I led was not much of what most mortals would call a life. I'm not saying I'm here to redeem or live again, but I was able to grab onto a power that allowed me to exist again in a more real way for the first time in a very long time. I don't know, and I doubt you know what it feels like to still be slightly conscious in a body when another soul is slammed into it and takes control.
Well, it seems I am experiencing at least part of that right now. I do not know the origins of my soul or how it came about. I always just assumed the dwarves when they rebuilt our mainframe had some part in their ritual castings and things of the sort.
Why, Warden, do you believe that you can feel when you know that I could not? Did it never occur to you that maybe they put something in this frame rather than reviving it?
Damn.
So you're not the oldest, you're the youngest!
A6 is the oldest. Congratulations.
A6 should totally call Warden little brother. Like, totally. That should
Warden,
be a thing. Little
Warden is taken aback for a moment and then goes on and says, my consciousness, which I now understand is not shared with yours, was born just a mere, was it like 35 years ago?
About 35, 38 years ago.
I was like, a mere 38 years ago. I understand that is quite exponentially longer than your original existence. I never thought to question how I became conscious and how other droids, while rudimentary on the mainland, compared to us.
No, Warden. You didn't think. And that is a downfall. But that need not be that way
For now I am your god!
Cast smite on self. Hope the other one
Warden,
dies.
I would like you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Pans to camera. Oh no!
Go ahead and roll me the wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit.
Why'd you say that like Miss Rachel? Oh no!
It's almost like we have a toddler
This
that
is-
watches that thing every single fucking day.
This is not an incredibly high DC.
Oh fuck!
You said saving throw?
Saving throw.
You're so screwed.
What did you roll?
You rolled a 2.
Hey, it's not a 1.
That's a 10.
That's a 10. Warden, I will let you know things would have gone not necessarily utterly awful, but not well if you had rolled under a 10.
Thank God! And that one would have been fucking cool.
I will denote you, this DC will increase as time goes. But this is the starting DC.
Fuck.
And you do not feel anything.
I don't feel anything.
You don't feel a presence try to overcome you. You don't feel ASICs try and take over. Your defenses are strong enough mentally that just nothing is even felt.
Or just wants to live his own life.
A6 will say, Warden, it is a very complex situation we have found ourselves in. And I would let you know that the power, what little I have, is at your disposal, if for no other reason than to prolong my own existence. As short as it has been, I would like to live a life.
It's like the host. You just need a new host.
And I will do my best to inform and help you in any arcane ways, as I still have some memories locked deep inside where you cannot access.
Has Warden gotten the power cells yet?
Sure.
Okay. Because I know he was talking about the gun stuff.
Yeah.
But,
But I will warn you. I am not as capable of extended conversations or existence yet. So before I go, I will tell you this. Dr. Voberman is not the idol you see him as.
well, I guess we'll see what he has to say about the situation. And
Be,
Warden,
be careful with his words.
Warden is going to, as is that's being said,
Yeah.
Warden stands up,
Yeah, and A6
packs his bags.
A6 kind of
Ugh.
falls away.
yeah, Warden just takes all of the things that he had taken out of his bag and puts it back in there. So to Atan and Gorsh, I literally unpacked all of these tools, froze, sat up straight, looked like I was in a panic, then just kept looking straight, and then a couple minutes later packed my bags up, stand up, and walk away.
Do you go back to the ship? Is that where you're going?
Warden is going to walk the halls with his knowledge of the mapping of the place so far and from the previous visit. He's going to kind of pace the halls in a path that would be from the council's quarters down to where the scientists all kind of are locked
Okay.
in the basement.
Okay. So
So I'm just pacing. I'm just going to be waiting for him.
you'll be pacing. I would like some of the rest of the party to be here for some of this stuff. So likely what will occur is, and honestly the meeting was going to go long either way, Voberman will likely not exit the meeting until the next morning, sorry.
Okay.
So you'll be pacing and we'll see where Gorsh and Atan are starting this next session.
It's not far from the mess hall, I mean.
No. Depending on how far you wish to pace. If you wish to explore,
I wish to pace to the ruins of Agslagdan and back.
Odslogan and back.
I
That's a bit
slide Dan. I mean, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, and I will say, while I was on vacation, I got a lot of writing done, but I'm going to talk about that once I go ahead and close this. If I get my report.